In this video, I'm going to share how you can make $10,000 in the next 30 days. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Natasha, the business recruiter. Welcome back to my channel. So when it comes to the recruiting industry, it's important to understand that there are a multitude of ways that you can go about earning money. And one of the ways that you can go about earning or generating an income for yourself, at least a minimum of $10,000 within the next 30 days, is to actually leverage split partnerships. Now, when it comes to split partnerships, it's important that you understand exactly how they work. Basically, a split partnership is your ability to work with one or more recruiting agencies in order to be able to fill a requisition. Now, you're probably wondering why in the world would you want to do that? Well, if you're a brand new recruiting agency owner that's just starting out, it may actually be a little tough for you to be able to get your first client signed and ultimately have a few requisitions that you're going to try to fill. So with that being stated, because that could be a little bit tough for you, split partnerships gives you the opportunity to be able to work with other recruiting agencies so that you can help to fill requisitions. Now, one of the biggest pros that are associated with this is that it gives you experience as well as the opportunity to generate income while you're also working on trying to get your own clients. Meaning, it really gives you the opportunity to understand multiple facets of the recruiting process. Typically, when it comes to split partnerships, there's a certain role that you're going to play. Ultimately, it's associated with you being able to bring candidates to the table and then that viable candidate getting through the client's interview process and then ultimately the check happening. Now from there, once you are actually paid for filling the requisition, this is where the split comes into play, meaning that you're going to get a portion of that payment as well as the recruiting agency that you're working with. Now, what that split is can definitely vary, and it can be contingent on exactly what you're inputting in terms of being able to fill the requisition. Typically, you'll see an even split of 50-50. Sometimes it'll be 60-40. It's important that you understand that actually putting a contract in place when you're going to have some form of a split partnership is going to be ideal so that you have the opportunity to be able to protect yourself. Now, I want you to keep in mind that there are a couple cons that are actually associated with a split partnership as well. And one of those cons are going to be the potential negative impact to your personal brand if something goes wrong with the split partnership, meaning that you have to understand that whatever you work on, you're ultimately putting your name on. You want to ensure that that split partnership, before you get into any form of a contract with that recruiting agency, that their values, mission, and ultimately maybe even certain aspects of their process also align with how you would want to do things. The worst thing that you can do for yourself is to get into a split partnership with a recruiting agency that may be a little shady or go about unethical practices. Again, you want to make sure that you are as in sync with this recruiting agency as much as possible, because it's also going to help you in terms of the ultimate relationship that you're going to have with that other recruiting agency as you go through the split partnership. As an extension of that, another con could ultimately be you working with a recruiting agency that's a little bit difficult to work with. And maybe it's not just associated with unethical practices or how they go about their process. Maybe it's more so their communication, or maybe it's more so how they actually go about vetting candidates that you do send over. Again, you want to make sure that you talk about all of these things from the very beginning before you even get into any sort of split partnership agreement. It's important that you understand what their process is like, how they're ultimately going to go about that process, and then how you fit into it. The worst thing that you can do is set yourself up for failure by entering into a split partnership that ultimately just causes more strain for you. And especially in the beginning, although you want to get clients under your belt, you want to get experience, and you want to get income, it's still very important that you keep your values top of mind as you go through it. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, then be sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button as well as that bell so that you can get notified of all of my videos that drop weekly. Now, one of the questions that you probably have is, well, how do you actually go about even finding opportunities associated with a split partnership? Well, I'm here to tell you that there are a multitude of ways that you can actually leverage. And one of my favorites is actually Facebook groups, meaning that any sort of Facebook group that is related to recruiting, there are typically other recruiting agency owners that are in there that are also trying to learn and network. By leveraging Facebook groups, it gives you the opportunity to be able to work with other recruiting agency owners to ultimately potentially put a split partnership in place. If you're not subscribed to my Facebook group, The Business Recruiter, then I'll go ahead and link that down below below because I do encourage you to join. There's a lot of good value in there and opportunities potentially for you to get into a split partnership. Another way that you can actually go about finding a split partnership is networking events, meaning that there's a lot of events that are held every single year in regards to recruiting. I mean, honestly, there are events that are held on a monthly basis in regards to it. So if you find a really cool event in your area that's going to be focused on networking in some way and ultimately also linked to the recruiting industry, it's a win-win situation. That gives you the opportunity to be able to meet with that recruiting agency owner or a representative of their company face to face and have that opportunity to discuss maybe potential opportunities for you to work together. Now, again, it's not going to be necessarily a guarantee that you're going to be able to get a split partnership out of networking, but it does increase your chances of being able to do it. So I encourage you to find as many opportunities as you can to network and ultimately add other recruiting agency owners to your sphere of influence. And then, of course, one of the ways that you can also leverage is referrals. There are a ton of opportunities out there for you to continue to work your sphere of influence, and ultimately that could also mean connecting with other recruiting agency owners. If you're aware of individuals who are just starting out or maybe have been in the industry for some time, you never know where those connections can lead. So be open to referrals, not just on the candidate side, but also on the potential side of being able to work with prospective recruiting agencies. Well, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, then be sure to give me a thumbs up, as well as if a split partnership sounds like it's something that might be of interest to you and you're going to actually try it in 2023, then I want you to comment split partnership down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.